Can you hear me now? Why would you do that? Can I just toggle it off? Oh, I can. Okay, cool. All right. Well, hopefully you can hear me. If not, it's gonna be a silent video. So, I was gonna do a video because I gotta redo some things in Founder PR because we're about to launch it, and I realized I was working on that so long ago that Bolt didn't even have the GitHub integration, so I have to like go back and put it into my new workflow that I found. Okay, so hold on. Let's get my music on. I thought it was in my headphones, but it's not. Okay, so in doing, I just did I told you that this month is essentially distro month for me. Month of, basically from like June 17th to July 17th is distro. And so in that, what I'm going to be doing is focusing really heavily on getting these products out here to figure out like what we want to do with them. Because right now we don't even know what they're worth yet. And not like in terms of valuation. I don't care about that at all. It's more about like if people are going to pay for them, because some of these products I'm building because I really want them. And then other products I'm building because I want to see them in the world. So some I want to use and some I want them in the world. And on that note, I have to build a product that I need because I realized that I'm going to try and do 8 products. I don't know if you remember, but this is how many products I have in my head, right? So out of all these, I had to find ones that I felt like it can make money pretty quickly. To just test out all these workflows. So once I get that playbook, then I have a playbook. You know, I was listening to something. I think it was Tony Robbins, and Robert Smith. Tony Robbins was like, "How are you doing AI?" And Robert Smith was like, "You know, how we think about it is we built an AI machine, and now we just run all of our companies through it." I already knew how I was going to do it, but that was just like solidifying, okay, if this very, very wealthy person is doing it with his tons of companies, I think he's like the wealthiest black business owner in the world, or not in the world, in the country, because there are some black business owners in Africa that are worth a lot. But that kind of solidified like, okay, that's exactly how I was thinking. So what I'm trying to do is like build out a workflow. Everything's about workflow. And so I haven't run Founder PR through the workflow that I established over the weekend when I worked a ton of hours to try and figure out like what's the best way to do this. But in that process, I realized that there are 8 of them and I want to build out a workflow. I got to build a project management tool. So I did some research last night, this morning, couldn't find one that did it exactly how I'm thinking of. And how I'm thinking of is, sorry, I did the idea maze a little bit up here. I just did this like 10 minutes ago, but you wouldn't like to hear me think for that long. And I wasn't going to show you this because I was going to work on Founder PR and show you what it's like to build out the distro that I'm currently working on. But then I thought someone might find this interesting, maybe. That's kind of how I'm doing all these videos. And so to this end, like it's come back with some stuff about how I'm thinking about this. This product it needs to be a project management tool that can operate across multiple products at the exact same time. And it needs to be able to have tasks, subtasks, and projects. And then it needs to have companies. So it needs to have multiple, and each one of these products that I'm building is going to be essentially a company. So now I was just telling my partner this earlier. I think this is more like, they're not MVPs because they're pretty intense products, but they're more like minimum viable companies. Like these are products that are done. And that's kind of how I'm thinking about this. But to a degree, like I need to have some way to like manage the whole thing. So if I'm doing distro and I have 30 tweets that need to go out, how would I do that? How would I keep track of everything? How do I keep track of all the projects? How do I keep track of all the builds that we're doing? Well, it'll be a lot easier if I can like assign them to dates and then have it in a workflow that's almost like a waterfall. That's using the method that I always love called time blocking. And so I needed a project management tool that can do that, but I also needed to do something that's a little different. I need it to be able to automatically categorize things on an adapted Eisenhower matrix. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Actually, you know what? Eisenhower matrix. You've probably seen it or heard it. You just didn't know that that's what it was called. This is like an Eisenhower matrix. So I need it to be on an adapted form of this. And I need it to be automated. I also need it to do another thing. I need to be able to chat back and forth with ChatGPT or OpenAI inside the comments. So if I'm working on a task, I need to have a comment section that I can ask questions about it or do deep research or some of these other models. I need to have that inside of the task that has the context of the project, the task, the subtask, and the company, and all the other tasks and projects that we've done for that particular company. You see? No, there's nothing out there that does that. On top of that, and the auto categorization, it needs to do the auto Eisenhower matrix, but also there's going to be a stream of projects, products, and sorry, I'm thinking off the top of my head, and comments and tasks and subtasks, right? I need it to do another thing. I need it to auto update my task list based on when new things convert to that Eisenhower matrix. So if I have a list of like 100 things to do with all different due dates, but they're all fit together on a calendar, so I need it to auto fit onto a calendar so nothing's overlapping. I need it to also, oh, that reminds me, I know another feature I need. I need it to also be able, if I add a meeting for a specific day, I need to slide all the projects around that meeting. If I don't complete a project, like let's say I have 10 projects to do today and I only get to project 7 and then I have family time, I need the other 3 to rotate up to the next day and slide all of the other projects down or tasks down. I also need it so that if I add something that's a high priority, let's say I get a contract from like Coke or something and I need to really like build out a deck, I know how much, I kind of have an idea of how much they'll take. So I essentially need it to, like, when I say, hey, I need to do this project for Coke and I put it into this project management software, I need it to move everything down. So if something, and basically I'm running off of three matrix, 2 levels deep. So high effort, low effort, short timeline, long timeline, and then high value, low value. That's the 6 that I'm running everything over. So we need to build an algorithm to score that. And then the last thing that I need to do is I want it to learn how long it takes me to do certain projects. So if one project is like add a tweet to Buffer, I need it to learn how long it takes me to do these things. So I need to have kind of like a stopwatch on some of these or inside the tool so that when I'm working on it, I can hit start, then I can hit complete or finished or something like that. And what'll happen is that over time, it'll learn how long it takes me to do things. So then the next time that I need to add a tweet, it can find the gaps on all of my projects and all of my meetings. And it can, let's say it takes me 5 minutes to write a tweet or 10 minutes. It can find a 10-minute block and just slide it in there. And then again, if I don't complete it by the end of the day, it slides to the next day and all the other projects slide down with it. See what I mean? So it's like a pretty complex thing. It's almost like a self-organizing product tool. And so that's what I'm kind of building. So it's just running through like some of this stuff, but I need to answer some of these questions really quickly. I'm going to answer these and I need to quickly write this idea that I had. Where should I write it? Let's just write it in another. Here, I'll just write it in a new chat. I want to add a feature. Oh, what was it? Oh, that allows me to stop. That tracks how much time it takes me to do a project. So when I'm ready to start, I click into a task and click a start button that kicks off the count. Then that button of seconds, minutes, hours, days that it takes me to complete. And then I was going to say finish, right? But now I actually need something else. Then that button changes to a pause button that whenever I click the pause button, it pauses the count for just that task. To the right of the start pause button is a button that says finished. When that is clicked, that is pencils down moment. Stop the counter that is running in the background. That is running. Stop the counter that is running. Oh, which means that also in the dashboard, I need there to be a list of all of the tasks that currently have a counter running and what the number is. Just thought of that too. Probably need that. It needs to have a sorting mechanism that allows me to sort by the time with, or between the, by the task with the most time, the task with the lowest effort, the task with the highest value, the task with the shortest timeline or time until due date. Okay, stops running. In the platform should calculate the time from the time actually worked on a project. Store it. This will help when it comes to the platform automatically being able to understand through the task history around how much time a task needs for me to complete it, which should inform what the due date should be when taking into account the short timeline versus long timeline aspect of a task or project. Okay, so we got that. So now we need to answer these questions. I can increase. Oh no. No, that's not what I need. That's not. Okay. Let's answer these real quick. I don't want to answer them on this like design. That was dumb of me. I don't know why I even like thought that I could do that. Come over here. So we're basically gonna build this from scratch. We're probably not gonna let anyone use this, but it'll be fun for me to just. It'll be good for me to just have. It looks like never missing a due date. However, I know that isn't always going to happen. So this product needs to be able to help me keep everything together. It's not just in my head or in a spreadsheet. However, oh, that's fine. We'll just put it like that. Solo founder only eventually teams. Don't worry about that. Just make it like a user. Oh, actually, nope. Right now it's for a solo founder, but with multiple companies. So this needs to have multiple tiers: companies, projects, tasks, subtasks, where tasks and subtasks can have the commenting, which let's call it threads. Commenting back and forth with OpenAI API. Okay, cool. Scope of boundary, which feature non-negotiable? Let's just focus on it being the platform I described. Don't add features unless I state that I want them added. Don't add features. How about this? I will add features. I'll need to do that. Let's have the weights configurable in the user settings. In there it should in there the user should also be able to decide which open AI models it wants to be used in the threads feature within tasks and subtasks. So we're kind of doing a little bit of product work like as we're going. If they tie on priority, that's what the matrix is for, to be the tiebreaker. Also, I'll be the only one to dictate priority. The platform will be able to auto determine the matrix if I elect to allow it to when creating a task. Or subtask. However, when I create a project underneath company, I will indicate what level of, oh, how about a slider? There should be a slider, the urgency. Oh, no. How about this? There should be a due date on the project that I can that I can indicate, and then all tasks and subtasks can be scheduled off of that project due date. That's going to backfire, but let's go ahead and do that right now. Learning cadence. How often should the time to complete model retrain? It should retrain every month. It's a great question. Hard and soft deadlines. Yes. Actually, let's go ahead and add a toggle for each task on where, or oh, not even a toggle. Let's add a lock toggle on every task. If it is unlocked, the platform can move it. It is eligible for auto moving. Platform can move it. If it's locked, then only the user can move it. This platform will be the source of truth. If I have a meeting, which all meetings take priority, then I will add it to the platform in the calendar page. Minimum scheduling unit. Minimum scheduling unit is, let's call it 20 minutes. Then 30-minute, 45-minute, 1 hour, 1.5 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, full day, half day, full day. There are no work windows. However, in the user settings, they can have a intuitive UI to select quickly which days they work. And if hold on. How should I do that? That's not right. Work windows are 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. However, the user should be able to see a task list of all of their tasks and subtasks that are upcoming anytime they want, and they can work on those tasks. If a task is completed out of order, the platform should simply update the calendar to move forward. Should events marked free be still block time? I don't even know what that means. Okay, wow. No, just task and subtasks. Great question. No. Yeah, actually, yes, but I want to be able to create the templates myself. Free text title, admin to violation status area fields. I believe that you should allow free text tags because this search will be able to use those easily without needing admin interference. However, these tags are only to the user who created them. No one else can see them. Unless they're under their org, but I'm not going to say that right now. Okay. Unless they are under the company profile with other users. Okay, the admin defined status area will be platform wide tasks. Fields like status updates. Okay, wow. Not owner, organizer, team member, viewer, in that order of hierarchy. Just due date enforcement. They are shared per task as long as the other users are listed as users under the company profile. What? Per workspace default plus per message override? Show the drop down in each task, which will also show also propagate to subtasks as well. However, also add the setting in the user settings to be able to choose the preferred model, which will automatically use that preference across every task. The previous subscriber task details should be stuffed into each prompt by default. Ooh, that's tough. That's a tough question. I believe the organizer of a company should have a user visible usage meter, which is calculating costs of using OpenAI API chats in the tasks or subtask threads. I believe that the organizer should have the option to indicate if they want a cap, whether it's daily, weekly, or monthly, or no cap at all. That when they hit the cap for that organization, for that company, then the use of threads is grayed out, and the button to send a new message is blocked. Okay. Shared DB with RLS. We don't need this right now. Whatever encryption is that you would normally use. Wow, good night. Okay. Applications do not need to be real time. Just no, that's not new notifications. Actually, they only need to occur when a task is within 3 days, 1 day, and then 12 hours. Sorry, not do that. 1 week, 3 days, and 1 day of its due date. Same for projects. No alerts for this. However, there should be a way for the user on the dashboard to see overdue items, and at the very top of the dashboard they can see their day life for the day. Schedule shifts. Oh, I don't need to know that. That's a great question. Dude, this is taking way longer than I thought it would. Holy crap. We don't need this right now. Okay, wow. I believe we should have a calendar view, a Kanban view, and a typical project management software view. Responsive web is good enough. No dark mode is needed. Okay, pricing model. We aren't there yet. No, just row. We would bring these in later. GitHub issues is interesting because if I brought that in, then I could use the GitHub coding agent. And if I use the GitHub coding agent, that means I could put coding tasks in there. Right. GitHub issues. Wait. Wow. Sure. Let's think of this later. I'm just gonna copy and paste this because I don't even know what you're. I know what you're talking about, but like we're just ideating. Why are you asking me these business questions? We're not talking about business. I don't know the pricing model. Okay, what I miss? What I miss? I missed something. I know because I skipped it. Where was it? I believe, okay, how should I do this? I've never really done a context window establishment or established a context window before. Let's go. I believe that when a task is closed, the chat messages that were in the sub task and that task are automatically deleted. Believe that the context of the projects that are completed and the company description and should be included in the context window. This will allow, hold on. The company description establishes baseline for the context, and then each subsequent task is like the AI will have more layers of context on top of that foundation to help with future tasks and subtasks. I feel like that's going to cost me a fortune. Well, here we go. I'm probably not even going to use that at the beginning, by the way, because I have Claude, so I don't need to. But I wanted to be in there. Okay, cool. So we did all that. Wow. This video must be long, so I'm going to go ahead and stop it. Come back to it in a second. What a time to be alive.